Ah. How's it going, fellas? Don't mind me, I'm just enjoying my large hot chai latte with oat milk from Dunkin' Donuts. America does run on Dunkin'. It's a little lukewarm. I guess that's what I get for using Uber Eats. But I actually picked it up this time. I didn't get it delivered. I got it Uber Eat. I did the Uber Eats pickup so I could get the deal. Guys, I got the deal. Okay. Buy $15 worth of Dunkin', get $5 off. So I bought this piece of crap and like a little sandwich thing and a pumpkin iced loaf. And let's just say I'm looking forward to that. Let's just say I'm looking forward to that one. I don't know if I'm going to eat it on camera, though. I don't want to give the mukbang people any more material than they already have. Oh, gross. Sorry, this card's a little nasty. I should probably clean it. There's probably a lot of things that I need to clean. There's probably a lot of things that I need to clean in my life. A lot of things that are messy, unorganized, dirty, that need to be cleaned. But I just don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. But why is that? That's the question that everybody's asking. Why don't you just get your life together, Jake? Why don't you quit goofing off and make something of yourself, Jake? That's what they say to me. That's what everybody says to me. Even strangers on the street. I'm like, excuse me, sir, do you have the time? And they say, you fucking loser. If you should know the time. You should have your own watch. You should have your own watch. You should have your own business, dummy. And I say, just trying to see the time, sir. You know, I've been seeing a lot of videos by this guy. Actually, I haven't been seeing them. I've been seeing the thumbnails for them. And they often say something about retard maxing. And at first I thought it was a gimmick, but now I'm kind of starting to see the vision. You see, things are more difficult to do when you can't believe that you can do them. Does that make sense? If you don't believe you can do it, then you're not going to do it. Why would you? Why would you do it? Why would you waste your time doing it if you didn't believe that you could do it? You know? Or if you didn't want to do it, or you know, whatever the case may be. You didn't want to do it, you don't think you can do it, you don't even know if you want to do it, you don't think you can do it, you don't want to do it, you know what I'm saying? But the question is, and I might get on the road here in a second because it's kind of hot. And I know my phone's going to go all over the place, but so be it. The question then becomes, you know, it's not a question, sorry, but the observation, you know, is, whoa, I turned in here in a very turny manner. The question then becomes, not the question, the observation becomes, you know, this whole thinking thing really doesn't seem that great. Am I right or am I right, people? This whole thinking thing is kind of gay. It's kind of cringe. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Saws. I think I know where I'm going. But yeah, the thinking thing is like, just like lame. You know, it's a very lame thing. And it's not that thinking is a bad thing by itself, but if you're like me, 120 IQ semi-genius, you're probably thinking way too much. You're probably thinking way too much. And so you don't want to be a slave to your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be the kind of guy that... You don't want to be neurotic, I guess is what I'm saying. You don't want to be constantly thinking about the future or the past or the present, or you just don't want to be constantly thinking, period. Overthinking is kind of like a mental illness in a way. It is contagious, and it does affect many Americans and non-Americans as well. Oh shit. Fuck. Is this illegal what I'm doing? I'm gonna go with no, because then I can plead ignorance in court. But ignorance is bliss. That's not what I'm trying to say, sorry. Retard maxing is bliss. And what retard maxing means, at least as far as I can tell, think less, my guy. Think less of everything. Think less of yourself. Think less of the people around you. When I say think less, I'm not saying think poorly of them, obviously. I'm saying just don't think. Okay, if you're predisposed to having an inner monologue, can you stop? If you're predisposed to having an inner monologue, you got to learn how to shut that shit down, man. You got to learn how to quiet it up. You know, there is a time and place to have that inner monologue, but what was once like a tool used in very like specific type scenarios, right? Okay, it says stop on red, but we're not stopping. Okay, it's not red anymore. The inner monologue, or whatever you fantasize, if you're more of a visual thinker. I gotta speed up here. I'm just gonna hold it to my face. That's safe, right? No, there's gotta be a better way. The inner monologue, or the visualization, or whatever your thought style is, it's supposed to be used kind of sparingly. You know, it's supposed to be used like in moments of contemplation, perhaps in the beginning of the day or at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But it's not supposed to be going on 24/7. It's not supposed to be going on 24/7, 365. You're not supposed to be constantly thinking about things that you've already thought about, and that's what overthinking is. I assure you, some of you watching, you have things that you think about over and over and over again, and maybe that's OCD, and maybe this camera won't ever stick. I don't know what it is, but what I'm saying is that is definitely not healthy, and it's kind of ruining your life. The act of overthinking is ruining your life, because when you're thinking, you're in here, and when you're in here, you're not out here. And you need to be out here to be living life, enjoying it, being happy, being virtuous, even making other people happy. You're not doing anybody any favors by overthinking and constantly being in here. This is what I call hell. What I'm pointing to, I call this hell. I call it hell. So you want to be in hell as little as humanly possible. So that means go into hell when you need to go in there. Because sometimes you need to go into hell. Sometimes it's necessary. But it's not nearly as necessary as we dive in there habitually. It's a habit at this point. The overthinking is a habit. We do it because we've always done it. We do it because, I don't know. Maybe it's a side effect of social media. I don't know. But regardless, it's merely, we have become addicted to our own thoughts. And that is not a good thing. So what I'm saying here is, with the whole retard maxing thing, is that there is a lot of validity in the act of slowing things down, if you will, in your mind, and not being so, just catching yourself and saying, oh, there it is again. I'm thinking about the same thing I've been thinking about for the past 6 months. That's not good. So what you got to do is you got to catch yourself when you do that and say, whoa. Let's let that, it happened. I thought about it. We're just going to let it go. You don't want to indulge in the thought because you're going to overthink. Okay, not stopping your overthinking isn't like a snap of the fingers, but with like, gentle redirection, you got to be kind to yourself. And with gentle redirection, you can sort of say to yourself, hey man, like I know we've been doing this overthinking thing a lot, but it's really not making us happy. So I'm acknowledging the thought, I'm acknowledging it. I'm saying, okay, I hear you, I see you, but we're gonna let it go. And we're gonna let it go, look at all this litter, damn. And we're gonna let it go because it's not serving us anymore. These thoughts aren't serving us. So we're gonna let it go. And your other half, your subconscious, I don't know, will say, okay, because you're doing what's best for you. You're trying to make yourself happy, healthy, live life and not want to, go crazy. Overthinking will make you go crazy. And so, it was once like a tool, like a useful tool that you use to, solve problems or whatever, or make a decision. These things that the internal monologue is actually useful for. Now it's just like a weird kind of, it's almost like a time waster. Like you just waste time thinking. Like you just think. It's like useless. There are times for contemplation, of course, but those times are actually far and few between. You need to, instead of thinking all the time, is this not a green light? Are we not going? Okay. Instead of thinking all the time, what you need to do is act, obviously. But that means to like focus on something. And you'll find that when you focus on something, your thoughts do, the volume gets lowered on your thoughts. The knob gets cranked. When you focus on something, your thoughts really start to quiet up. And not everybody needs that. I was trying to avoid this. But not everybody needs that. Not everybody needs that. Some people, they need to think more. But if you're like me, you need to think less, genuinely. And you need to just don't need to think all the time, man. You just gotta think less, bro. It's not healthy to be constantly thinking. And as soon as I end this video, I'm gonna go right back to thinking. But and so will you. As soon as this video is over, you're gonna go back to thinking. But I'm just trying to plant the seed that there is a way out, and like you might be like really happy and like kind of relieved if you can find a way to quiet that inner monologue, which is basically a demon at this point because you're in hell. But yeah, so just get some Dunkin' Donuts and like do something, like if you have downtime, because a lot of you probably work. I'm trying to get there myself, but you probably don't think too much when you're busy at work, which is good. So you just have to find work outside of work, whatever that means. I don't know. You got to find that out for yourself. But yeah, I believe in you, dude. You just got to find something you like, something that will quiet the inner monologue. And always in times where you can't quiet it, just like remind yourself, hey, we don't have to do this. We don't have to live in hell.